What to expect
when you're not expecting cancer.
Today, what are we talking about?
Today we're touching on a subject that is near and dear to Christa and I's heart. And we think that everybody can take something away from this, no matter if you're a parent or maybe you're a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle
caregiver,
nanny, daycare provider, anything like that. Somebody can take something away from it. So we are talking about how to talk to your children about cancer. Language to use, good little tricks and tips and tools, if you will. So, yeah. So, Christa.
And stuff you just make up along the way that works for your kids.
Yeah, and everybody's kids are different, just like everybody is different. Their cancer journey is different. So, a lot of it is going to be you take a little piece of what we tell you and you tailor it to your kids, age-wise, lifestyle-wise, likes-wise, and knowing your emotional range of your children, so to speak.
Yeah, so mine's 2. He just discovered Santa Claus this year. Last year when he was opening presents, it was all about the tissue paper.
And the box.
This year was about Santa Claus and the blue watch he got from Santa. And so he knows a little bit more, but he's 2. He doesn't know what cancer is.
Cancer, cheddar cheese, all the same.
Yeah, exactly. And your kids are how old?
I have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. But my little guy, when I was first diagnosed, was around the same age. He was just about 3 and then turned 3 when I got my diagnosis. Yeah. So it was hard. But he could see the changes in Mummy. All of a sudden, Mummy wasn't picking him up.
Yeah.
Mummy looked a lot different, and then Mummy had no hair.
Yeah.
Like, that was a huge, like, what's going on? My girls, who are 7 and 10, the middle child was okay. She didn't really seem to feel emotions towards it. But my eldest daughter definitely did, because it was more of a social thing. Because her friends kept asking her, how are you? How's your mommy? And for my daughter, that was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to be different than anybody else. She didn't want attention. She didn't want people's parents asking her questions. She just wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
Do not make me different than every other kid coming and going to school and skating lessons and dance lessons. So, but again, every child's different.
Totally.
Where Summer, my middle child, would have been like, yeah, ask me about my mommy. She went to a hospital today.
Yeah.
So.
And my little guy, they found the cancer when he was born.
Yeah.
So he was a newborn.
This has been his life.
He's always had me and have cancer and
doctor's appointments.
He thought it would be normal too when you're tired to lay down on the grass. And so that's what he started doing in the summer. He was just laying down, because that's what Mummy does when she's tired. She just lays down and plays on the grass. And so it normalizes for him. Versus if a child is older.
Yes.
Then that's kind of a contrast from what they're used to seeing mom do.
Very much so. And sometimes kids don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But the worst thing from my experience, and Christa, we've spoken about this as well, is hiding it from the kids.
Yeah. And I mean, to each his own. There's things that you may not want to say to them, or certain words that you might not want to use.
I do not say terminal to my children. That word has nothing for them.
Yeah.
And terminal, I mean, they gave me 6 months. It's been almost 2.5, almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years. So for me, that word is a no zone for my kids.
Yeah. Recently, so this brain stuff has been very new for me. And I had told my son, Austin, that Mummy had a boo-boo in her chest because I had a recurrence last April. And it made me cough. And, he wanted to see my boo-boo. And so we talked about biology a little bit.
And rub it. Like with my back, when my tumors on my back are really bad sometimes, and I have to lay down, and my little guy will be like, is your back okay? Can I rub your back?
Oh,
right? Yeah. So the same sort of thing.
Yeah, and then when we were in the hospital, before surgery, I wanted to explain to him, Mommy had a boo-boo in her head, and the doctor wanted to take it out because it was hurting her, and that I would have a scratch after, kind of like when he falls and has a scratch and needs a Band-Aid. So I tried to use it. I tried to explain it in language that he would understand.
And terms that he has experience with, like boo-boo, Band-Aid, owie.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, okay. And then when I've been home, there's been some milestones like making my mask. And so I thought it would be
for radiation.
Fun.
She has a full face, if you have seen the videos and the posts online.
Yeah, so I thought it would be fun if he made his own mask. And so I got a paper mache mask from the dollar store, and we colored it together, and that was fun.
You make it part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
You make it include the kids.
And it's a keepsake that he'll have when he's older, and then he'll see the pictures. And the other thing was, so short hair is something he was used to when he was a baby, but he doesn't remember. So I thought it would be kind of a change for him. And I thought about describing why it's going to be short. And I ended up just saying, Mommy likes short hair.
Yeah.
Mommy wants a short haircut. And he was like, oh, okay. I could have gone into medication will cause hair loss.
Like chemo or radiation in your case.
But I didn't want to scare him next time we give him Tylenol or Advil.
Right, because it's like, medicine.
Am I going to lose my hair?
And for us, when I knew I was going bald through chemotherapy, I ended up doing, well, Mommy and Daddy are a matching pair because Daddy has never had hair in my children's life. So he's always been bald. And then my kids were like, but we like you with hair. So hence I wore the wigs or the hats.
Yeah.
But again, that's how I normalized it for my kids because Daddy's bald and he's perfectly fine. So it's not a big deal, guys. So what you did was super cute. And if you haven't seen the video, check out our Facebook.
So I got a Barbie. She had hair before. And I thought it would be fun for my husband and my son to use the clippers, which the hairdresser used clippers on my hair to shave her head.
And Daddy uses clippers on his.
Yeah, and they had a blast.
Whoever lets their kid cut the hair on a doll, it's always a no.
Yeah. I want to say my haircut is probably a little bit better than Barbie's
I'm going to say a definite yes to that.
But I thought it would be fun. And so that was one thing. The other thing...
and it normalized it.
Totally. And, I said, this is what Mommy's hair is going to look like. And then when I came home from the salon, it was like, oh, yes, we're twins.
Same. Yeah.
The other thing was Austin started daycare recently. So that's
huge milestone.
Germ factory.
Yes. The 7 months of a runny nose from your child once they start daycare or school.
Yeah. So he had been sick all the week that I was home, and I wasn't able to cuddle him, and I felt so bad.
Because immune compromised, a little cold can end us up in the hospital, as we've spoken about before.
So I thought to get him a mom doll. I just made it up, but I thought to get him a doll that he can cuddle with and hug and kiss and sleep with if he wanted to.
The things that you usually do every single minute of the day with him.
So here she is. She's just a little mom doll. And
he loves her.
I've worn my hair in pigtails before too. So yeah, he's in love with her, and he loved that she could sit, and he wanted her at the table with him. And so
she's portable, car seat ready, booster chair, washing her so he can, maybe he gets sick or has an accident in bed. Totally can wash her.
So those are the things that I've done recently. I didn't read them in a book. I just kind of made them up because my son is so curious, and I thought, what would be best for him?
And you know your son,
yes,
as you know your children or your nephew or your niece or your grandchild or children. There are a lot of good resources there talking about books. Rethink Breast Cancer has a great one for how to tell your kids. We've featured it before actually on one of our past videos. Also, there are places that you can go. Wellsprings is a great one.
Yep. So you've been to Wellspring, and what do they do there in terms of the kids getting together? And
the program they have there is amazing. It's a peer support program, but it's actually run by educators. That's not the right word. Therapists. So it was every Thursday night for, I believe it was 8 weeks, and we would meet at Wellsprings here in Oakville. And it would start at 5 p.m., and we would all have a communal meal together that somebody else has made. So it was either lasagna or like chicken and rice, but it was a big healthy meal, and we all sat down, and you either sat with your family or sat with other families, and you just had like your normal after-school dinner talk. And then as meal was done, the kids went with their therapist, and they would do play activities that were based around feelings and cancer and things like that, and the parents had a group session. So nobody was hearing things that they shouldn't, like age appropriate.
Yeah.
And the kids, actually, they have a doll that they bring in, and it shows them with a real needle and a chemo IV therapy, and showed them exactly what chemotherapy is.
Wow.
In a general way, without it being scared. They also had a doll that had all the anatomy, and they could pull out a liver, and they could show you where the lungs were. So great for kids aged, I would say, around 4 to around 12. I did learn of another organization that's here in Ontario area, and there's other things like it, and it's called Lighthouse. So this is a place for children who are going through bereavement, and it could be a loss of a grandparent, an uncle, a parent, anything like that, and they are amazing resource and help. So that's another great resource out there for people who might be checking out our videos and someone who's near and dear to them or family has passed away, and it's called Lighthouse.
There are lots of books available. I haven't really found one that I liked. I find they're too cutesy. Yeah. And if you do have a book that you would recommend, please maybe put it in the comment section or let us know.
And we can share it.
Because you can get books from the library or Chapters or whatever. But,
Amazon.
Yeah, but I just haven't found one.
Might have a counseling for your children.
Yeah, so I go to Juravinski Hospital or Juravinski Cancer Center in Hamilton, and there's Wellwood out there.
Yep.
And they do a cooking class with kids.
They do. I've heard about that. That's a really good one too.
I know someone who's done that before and has had a great time. And it's just something fun, you know what I mean, to get the kids out of the house and
one night a week you've got a meal done. That's what I love. For me, I'm at Princess Margaret Hospital in Toronto, and I know they have a connection with Gilda's Club, which is literally kind of across the street, if you will, and they offer a lot of parent-child activities as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so we have younger kids. What recommendations would you have for older kids?
Like preteens and teenagers and such like that? For them, I would also, so say you have somebody who is very into being on social networks, let's say, and computer suave. I would say, here is the type of cancer I have, and give them the actual term, right? So I would say, if it's an older child, I would say, I have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And if you'd like, we can research it together. Or you can look up...
On reputable sites.
On reputable sites, yes. Google is a dark hole. Dark hole. So like I would open the Canadian Cancer Society site for them. Or the American Cancer Society if you're in the United States. And from there, there's a lot of links and resources. And then if they get confused, ask Mommy, because I might actually know the actual answer. Or I would say, go ahead and research, and if you have any questions, come back to me. Because especially at teenagers, they get a little private at that age too, and everything is very, very big and very important emotionally in their life. So that would be my suggestion. What about you?
And that might be even too much for some kids. That you might think, my teen is not ready for
to hear these words like menopause or erectile dysfunction and things like that. This is something a 15-year-old does not want to hear.
But along the similar lines, if your teen is big into cooking or art, maybe there's something that your teen can do for you so that they feel involved. Like, make you a really nice picture to hang up on the wall. Or, make you your favorite meal. And so that they feel like they're supporting you in the way that they can.
And you can even let them do the groceries for it, as well as the whole making, I don't care the mess in my kitchen. You want to make spaghetti from scratch?
Sure.
Go ahead. Have at it.
Have fun with it. Yeah. I was trying to think of video games because a lot of kids are into video games. I don't know. I don't know how to tie that into cancer, but
I don't either. Maybe there's a Fortnite dance. All I hear about is Fortnite, but my girls are not into that. But I know there's Fortnite out there. Maybe there's a Fortnite cancer dance.
Maybe,
right?
But maybe they could, lean to the support system that they have. Or with their friends. Maybe they can get together with their friends and do this cool card for you and everybody can sign it. And so there's lots of things that you can do, I think, to get them involved so that they feel like they're doing something.
My girls were very fortunate that they are very active in dance and figure skating. So they know they can go to their coach at figure skating anytime and tell her anything, and it's a safe zone. And the dance community, the dance moms, the instructors at dance, everybody has been an amazing resource for myself as well as my kids. So
that's a good point. So who is that person for your child?
Maybe you have karate.
Or like a godparent, or or
even
family friend,
even a tutor. Maybe your child has been in tutoring for reading or math, or a teacher. There's always a school and teacher. Sometimes kids don't want the two worlds colliding, especially
Yeah.
at school. But maybe they have a favorite teacher or the librarian or anything
They're
like that.
not always going to go to mom or dad or whoever.
Right, because they might be
with their
scared of the
questions.
answer.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear the answer coming out of mom or
And they
dad.
don't want to upset us, too.
And they don't want to upset us. So, again, make sure your kids know that they're are loved by so many people.
Yes.
There's so many people that they can talk to.
A village, as you
say. A village. We love our villages. Christa and I have said many times, we love our village. You guys support us in so many ways that you don't even realize. Like 4 a.m. when we can't sleep and we're like, oh,
we
I'm
both
so
sleep
fortunate.
At 4 a.m.
Yeah, we were up at 4 a.m. and neither of our children were.
Really bad day yesterday, and today I'm still not feeling hot, but I said to Kate, let's film because this is life.
This is how it is, right?
You don't always feel great, and I'm not going to just film on all my great days, right?
And that's the thing.
It's so important to keep that dialogue open, to know your kids, to know what information they could receive, and it changes over time, and just to be sort of flexible with that message and
be open to their questions too. It's going to be hard. Your kids might even ask you, are you going to die?
Yeah.
A good response I've had to say to my kids is, well, everybody dies one day. That's the best thing about life. You get to live it, experience, be here, and then it ends. But then a new life comes into the world, a baby, a new puppy, things like that. So I kind of bring it down to their terms, like we had a dog who passed away when our kids were really young. Things like that. Sometimes your kids will have a grandparent who's already passed.
Oh, and a bird that flew away.
Bird that flew away. This is why Kate doesn't have any pets right now. Mommy's mind is not there. But yeah, so kind of explain it or relate it back to something in their life that if they do ask the big question about death, because it is scary and it is something that happens with a lot of cancers, try and relate it back if they've had like a neighbor, a relative, a friend's grandma passed away. Relate it back to them and show them that life still goes on.
And there's books about death, too. My son's favorite show is Daniel Tiger right now.
Oh, yes.
And we lost our cat a few months ago. And there's a book by Daniel Tiger. It's something like Remembering Bluefish.
Aww.
And the bluefish in the tank passes away. So I thought that would be a good book for him to read.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily cancer, but I mean, it's a grief thing.
Yeah.
And when you tell your kids you have cancer, there is going to be grief.
Yes.
No matter what, because their life had been going one way, and now it has changed. Yeah. Keep liking us, sharing us, and subscribe to us, please.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in to What to Expect
when you're not expecting cancer. Bye, guys.